This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 468.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one next weekend, a big one, WordCamp Asia, February 17th through 19th. It's in Bangkok. There's still a 3% chance I may surprise people as of this recording. We'll see how that works out. So if you're going to be there, it's going to be awesome, I'm sure. I really want to go. 3% chance. It's either that or Barstow, California. I don't know. We'll see. Bangkok, Barstow, you never know. All right. Enjoy if you're there. If I meet you, fantastic. If I don't, I want to. All right. Moving on. Segment 1 in the news. Something to talk about. A couple of things here. WordPress 6.2 Beta 1 has been released, ready for testing. By the way, 6.2 is on target for the final release being March 28th, which is about 6.5 weeks away as of this recording. So that's pretty cool. Also in the news, I was informed by a friend, by Courtney, the WordPress Community Collective is pleased to announce long-term WordPress contributor Alex Stine is the inaugural WPCC Fellow. That's awesome. There's a link in the show notes about that. And also in the news, the WordPress has open applications for the 2023 Community Summit. It's a part of WordCamp US this year. It'll take place prior to the conference on August 22nd, 23rd in National Harbor, Washington, D.C. It's invitation only. It'll be the first summit in the last 6 years. The last one was held in Paris, France, 2017. So you can apply now for that as well. I think that's it for the news. It is. Moving on to segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Are you interested in generating revenue on your website from advertisements? Did you know that half of digital marketers don't know how much ad revenue they lose from insufficient or incorrect data? With AdSanity, you can say goodbye to uncertainty with user-friendly, accurate reporting and a simple interface that lets you effortlessly place ads wherever you like on your website. AdSanity is an easy-to-use ad rotator and management plugin created for publishers, bloggers, affiliate marketers, and developers. Built for speed and performance out of the box, AdSanity can adapt to your specific needs. You can place ads anywhere on your website using widgets, template tags, and content shortcodes. And with a host of basic and pro add-ons, you can customize it to match your budget and hit your advertising goals. Whether you're losing revenue to ad blockers, needing to rotate your ad content, or missing out on crucial tracking data, AdSanity has you covered. Visit AdSanityPlugin.com and get started today. AdSanity, simplified ad management for WordPress.
And again, thanks to AdSanity for sponsoring this week's episode. Really appreciate having you on board. It's an awesome tool. Really, got to check it out. All right, moving on. Segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. Weird things that WordPress people do. So use the analogy that runners have their things. I mean, I've been doing some running, as you may know. Some will only run clockwise on a loop. Some run counterclockwise on a loop. Some wear the same shirt. They have rituals, these specific things. Some stop for dogs, like me. Some will... I don't know, just people have their quirks in any category of life. So with that said, I reached out to as many people as I could get in touch with in the last week or two, asking what are some things that you all do that kind of may be different in the WordPress space? What are your quirks? So this may be part 1 of an ongoing series of developers and whatnot. And if you have something you want to share with me, by all means, send it in. I'll use it for another part. If you want to remain anonymous, you can do that as well. Okay, so first and foremost, Courtney, who was on episode 390, at first she didn't think she had anything, but then she offered this up. She says, I have a single key on my Stream Deck that launches 10 tabs and news, and one of those is always checking WP Jobs inbox queue, updating 50-ish sites with deep links to exact pages that scan sites and update sites, reading the Gutenberg GitHub issues, reading the latest posts on latest over at WordPress.org, and reading all the other WordPress news in her RSS feeder. So that's a quirky thing. It's on a button on a Stream Deck that opens up 10 tabs and always checks those 5 things. It's kind of nice, kind of neat. My buddy Kyle Van Dusen, episode 459, interviewed here. He says he checked Built With to see if an awesome site I'm looking at is built with WordPress, and then test the website page speed scores constantly. So also, he actually will type in WP-admin to non-WordPress sites when I'm trying to log in. For example, YouTube.com. He'll try to log into a YouTube for some reason. That's kind of a quirky thing for sure. Buddy Ben Meredith from GiveWP, he put in, and I quote, "Get overly concerned about internal capitalization," end quote, as well as, quote, "make entire websites just to lovingly troll their friends." So I'm not so sure what I mean by that. If he's calling somebody else out, himself out, or me out. I'm not sure where that lies. I'm not sure about that one, but interesting. Okay. Buddy Stephen Harvey says he creates a new site. He always turns off Hello Dolly and also deletes it, as well as he'll update the permalinks depending on the hosting company in question. Some companies will have the old set permalinks, kind of the weird default one. Newer hosting companies will go ahead now and make it /posts, which is much better in my opinion as well. So that's his. Robert Carnes says, I must pour my coffee and juice in the same order and drink it the same way, or in the same order every day before he starts working on his WordPress life. So there's that. And then lastly, mine, I'm going to share mine with you. I personally always set my color red in my user profile on any live site. That way I know it's, quote, hot and active versus a staging server. Lesson learned, I've been doing those for years, for like 10 years now, because I was working on a site that was live, didn't realize it, made a change, and took down the site. That's a problem. Like I removed a child theme before I knew what a child theme was, thinking, we don't need these extra themes here, and that was not good. Good thing I had a backup, but it's okay. I also will check to see if sample-page is active, or if it's been removed for some reason. I don't know. I just kind of do that. And I also do something similar to like Kyle, where he'll try to log into a site accidentally. I will check a lot of times /WP-content/uploads to see if it's open to the world. Some hosts leave that open and it shouldn't be. And I let those clients know, or those sites know, the site owner, say, hey, look, you need to change this because all that stuff that you think is behind a paywall or PDFs, whatnot, it's not. So I check that as well all the time. I don't know why, I just do. I've just been doing it it's one of my quirks. So I even have not a shortcode. I have a text expander snippet that types in that directory for me. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for this week. Pretty short week, like I said, short week on news and whatnot. Just want to have fun this week. If you have any of these, by means, send them in. I would love to share more of them, more developer quirks, WordPress quirks, etc. All right. Moving on, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is, I'm not sure where I saw this. It's called IdeaPush. It's a plugin. With IdeaPush, you can add an awesome feature. Oh, I know what it is. A request system to your WordPress site. It's kind of like upvoting, downvoting requests and getting feedback from users or customers to do that type of work. Really cool. I'm not connected to them. I think there's paid and free. I was looking for something similar for a client, so I found this online as well. IdeaPush. It's in the repository. Check it out. Link in the show notes as well. All right, let me wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, you can become a Patreon. That'd be awesome. You can also sponsor the show like AdSanity did. There's a form on the website for that too. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.